good to be home.
Mateo told us about your pilgrim's voyage.
You found it, didn't you? The meaning of unity. What? It can't be.
Our colleague is alive in some alternate dimension? Am I hearing this right?
Let's take a step back. This is everything we've been building towards, and the implications are a lot to take in. Could you explain the part about multiple universes one more time for everyone?
Yes, I wouldn't mind a little more detail.
And that's why the Starborn want the artifacts so desperately. They're the keys to unlocking the infinite.
I don't even want to think about the physiological changes you'd need to travel between universes.
Plus what it would do to the mind? Enlightenment? Or oblivion? Like the Hunter.
You have the opportunity to reach the closest thing to your god that might exist. And you're second-guessing it?
One doesn't approach the afterlife without some trepidation. You're right. This is a lot to take in.
Take some time to process, everyone. We finally have some answers. Now we need to figure out what to do with them.
Not to make a sharp turn in a grand tale, but I got the eye fixed up. Bruised, but still blinking. Let me know when you're ready to follow up on what it's seen.
No more Starborn have shown up. Yet.
To think the lodge turned into a battlefield. No, it's fine. Go ahead.
The lodge feels a little colder than it used to. I'm at your side.
Good luck, Andreja. If the concept of luck is something that you believe in, of course.
Luck will not be necessary, but thank you just the same.
I will be monitoring everyone's
If you
vitals
need time
for
away from
signs
here,
of
I'll
continued
understand.
trauma.
We all have to recover in our own way. I'm more than ready. Let's go.
Ms. Morgan, I shall be here if you need me.
It's actually comforting to know that, Andreja. Thank you.
Morale in the lodge has been measurably reduced. Human understanding of physics has until now shown no indication that such a thing is possible. And yet, we have now encountered two individuals physiologically identical to unique humans we already know, possessing knowledge and technology that it seems improbable for them to otherwise have. It is indeed possible that they are telling the truth, that this unity does exist. More data is required. Practically speaking, it is entirely possible to duplicate my memory banks and replicate my functionality in another Model A unit. I would recommend speaking to Mr. Stroud about the costs of such a venture. I believe this is a process known as small talk. It is not my specialty, but I will do my best. You may ask me anything. I am programmatically incapable of keeping secrets. Constellation has seen to it that I possess a near encyclopedic knowledge of human history, art, culture, and science. May I answer a question for you? This is a difficult question to parse. I do not experience enjoyment. However, I find that the music of ancient Japan has a pleasantly mathematical sound. The same is true of the works of European composers from the Baroque period. I have dedicated significant time to processing these compositions and understanding their structure. I am looking at one. I hope that was a suitable response. Constellation did not equip me with a sense of humor. I have done my best to mimic Barrett's. Logically, I believe the correct answer to be the airplane, followed shortly by the computer. Humans could not have become a spacefaring species without them. Illogically speaking, I am inclined to believe that books were your greatest invention. I have spent a good deal of time processing works of science fiction. They make good case studies in how your species could have made a mess of its entry into the stars in different ways than you did in reality. I have been programmed to comprehend all modern and ancient human languages. The only exception is body language. My body is crafted from reinforced metal and therefore incompatible with such forms of expression. Understood. Constellation recovered me from an abandoned lunar robotics factory on Earth's moon, where I was manufactured. I am told I was in quite a state of disrepair. Barrett elected to refurbish me after the discovery. Since then, I have been reprogrammed to be useful to Constellation. Constellation named me after the Portuguese explorer Vasco da Gama, who resided on Earth in the 15th century AD. He explored his home planet by way of its seas. Barrett tells me he was quite an accomplished explorer. I am inclined to believe it, as that is a compliment Barrett normally reserves for himself. Some data from my time on Earth's moon remains deep in my motherboard, but I do not frequently access it. Very little of what is in those files would prove useful to modern spacefarers. That is correct. I am a first-generation Model A robot. As such, I was manufactured on Earth's moon. Modern lunar robotics products are manufactured elsewhere. Constellation is an exceptionally driven and intelligent group of humans. I would expect nothing less of them. My programming dictates that I must answer any question. That is a difficult question to parse. I do not experience human emotions such as enjoyment. However, I have been kept busy since Constellation acquired me. That satisfies my directive to be as helpful as possible for the duration of my existence. In a geographical sense, the Lodge cannot be missed. It is easily accessible from the New Atlantis spaceport, but I presume that you are using miss in this context to mean long for. In which case, my answer is no. I long for nothing. Barrett, however, regularly complains about missing the lodge's amenities during our travels. This has led me to the conclusion that it is a place worth missing. Your vital signs indicate that you are currently in a state of emotional distress, engaging in support protocols. There. Very well, please proceed. Lunar Robotics is a manufacturing company. They are most notable for creating Model A robots. Their headquarters was once located on Earth's moon. It was evacuated during the cataclysm that rendered Earth uninhabitable. Today, Lunar Robotics products are still found throughout the settled systems, myself included. It is impossible to read Barrett. He is neither a book nor a block of code. If you are asking for a summary of my observations on his behavior, I will provide one. No, I was manufactured by a machine. However, Barrett has modified my programming substantially. I have advanced linguistic capability and navigational skills. I warned him that I would require an extra millisecond to process information with his modifications, but he did not seem to mind. Apparently, my capacity for conversation makes me a more entertaining travel companion. I have only seen Barrett kill his enemies. If you do not number among them, I surmise it was accidental. What you are suffering from is likely a bad first impression. I suggest consulting Barrett on the issue at once. Barrett tells me a bad first impression is the hardest thing to break. I believe that is because he has never tried to break a diamond. Barrett has not shared many personal details with me. He finds me a poor conversation partner, despite repeated attempts on his part. I do not understand the concept of gossip. My internal clock tells me that it has been years since Barrett and I began traveling together. I have traveled much of the settled systems in his company. Based on my understanding of Barrett, I believe he would be flattered by that assessment. I find you to be a more measured and logical captain than Barrett. It would be quite difficult for another human to be more reckless than him. My likelihood of expiration due to corporeal destruction has been significantly reduced since coming aboard your ship. You should consider this a success. I hope my answers were satisfactory.
You forget how much you take a place like the Lodge for granted. Until it's threatened. We can pay to fix the damages, but, well, some things are irreplaceable. Counter to everything I've said and believed before, I've caught myself wondering if we ever should have started this search. If this is all true, and I have it right, we've potentially started a chain of events that will create more of these Starborn. Or worse, enable the ones we've seen to become even stronger. I am not fond of either of those options. So maybe now we have no choice but to finish this journey before one of them does. Does it even work like that? This is enough to make your head spin. Look, I don't like the idea of siding with either one of these groups. I'd much rather see someone from Constellation get there first. I trust any of us far more than these Starborn. Oh, right. I was afraid you were going to bring that up again. Very well. Let's see if I embarrass myself or not. My colleagues, I venture out into the darkness of space once again. Many of you have expressed concern. At my age, you say, surely the risks are too great. Surely Sebastian Banks has earned a rest. Nonsense, I say. To go out into the unknown, to brave the possibility of never coming back, to ignite the spark of hope that humanity will find answers out there in the stars, that is all I have ever wanted. If this last expedition is my time, then I say, I have been fortunate. I have been fortunate to leave surrounded by people who could not be more different from one another, but who share a common purpose. That, dare I say, I am fortunate. My soul has a home it can always come back to. And that was the last thing Sebastian Banks ever said in the lodge before he disappeared. And Constellation has been waiting for him to come home ever since.
This is amazing! The unity, the multiverse, this is everything and more, literally. No kidding. Think of the dissertations. Boundless topics, no bounds. Except the books, they're bound. This explains so much, though. They're disorganized, petty, weird, and also deeply fascinating at the same time. Because they are just people. We never rule that out, but it feels so good to know we weren't fighting against robot alien ghost gods or something. No, not even slightly. They're people who obtain power in some unfair way, and some of them have used that power to cause suffering, and others just didn't want to share. But that's what regular people do every day of the year. We should feel cheated. They hoarded this and used it against people in their quest for power. But it all comes back to this. We don't know what will happen if you enter the Unity. You might lose yourself or become a two-headed space shark. There are too many variables. What? No. I just have to go back and forth about it for a while first, and then I'll be completely fine. Just part of my process. Of course, at the end of the day, it's your choice. But I will say this. Our entire purpose in Constellation is to explore. Why would we stop now? It's a nexus point for all universes with infinite possibilities. What could go wrong? I'm with you. I'm not gonna hold you back. But if you become evil or whatever, I'm also not gonna have your back. Anytime. The possibility of turning evil aside, I appreciate you taking the lead on this. You're guiding Constellation to new frontiers, new discoveries, and we should all follow your example. On that note, there's something else I'd like to discuss with you, if you have time. It's not on the scale of entering the Unity, but it is tangentially related. Well, good, because I happen to be one of Constellation's most respected members. But I digress. So, I've been pondering over what's happened and what it all means. And I've got a favor to ask. A teensy-weensy favor. About the size of a plank length, really. I think it's time I joined you in the physics-bending powers business. See if one of those temples works for more than just you. What, you think you're the only one who can walk around in a cape and tights? Granted, it's just a theory, but I venture anyone who experiences visions from touching an artifact is now connected to them. You got a vision, I got a vision. You got a power, ergo. Marvelous. I'm glad you're as gung-ho about this as I am. As it so happens, I've already talked to Vladimir. Seems our eye in the sky is back up and running. He sent me the coordinates for the temple already. We just have to visit.
These last glimpses from the eye are from the farthest fringes of known space. Could be the only remaining pieces outside the hands of the Starborn. Aye. The Blackest Sea seems less of a concern when there are sharks leaping out at you. Catch a smile out there.
Ah, home, sweet home. Now, where did I leave my cozy slippers? Maybe I didn't bring them.
civilian transport to unknown vessel. Please acknowledge. This is a commercial passenger transport liner wanting to alert you about hostiles in the system. It's our company's policy. Us friendlies have got to watch each other's backs out here. Safe travels, stranger.
Adorable! Bring it! Easy. Now what? know how this ends. Ha! I'd run too. I mean, come back!
Sure! I've got some time to kill. Well, they don't need it now.
Mayday! Massive damage! Mayday! Massive...
Dust, did you say something? Can't really blame them. Look at us.
Research station. You speaking. What is your business here? We are a research station run by the Hadron Consortium. Our work is proprietary and confidential. Great minds advancing basic research for the future of humanity. A bunch of scientists who pool their grant funding. What? We haven't sent a distress signal? Nothing on the comms. No other ships in the system since our last supply drop. Look, what are you trying to pull here? Really? The High Energy Research Lab? Alright. I don't know what's going on here, but you should talk with the director. For security, I'm going to have to ask your friend to wait out there. What's inside, stay with me and don't make any sudden moves. I'll get the door. Welcome to Nishina. Step forward. Scan is clear. One moment. Attention all. I am declaring a code yellow. All sections are now on lockdown. Senior staff, protocol Delta. Use out. There. Be right with you.
Ethan Hughes, Chief of Security. If you'll follow me, I'll show you to the director. We're a small research station in the middle of nowhere. Pirates eat places like these for lunch. It is my job to make sure that we are not on the menu. Kaya Patel, our administrator and research director. 28 years in quantum particle physics, or so I'm told. It's beyond me. We'll take the back way up. Here, you can see our lovely storage area. What the? Easy! Easy! What the hell was that? What? 1 minute you're following me, and then you're just gone. Minute later you pop in out of nowhere looking like you were in the middle of a fight. Cataxi? That doesn't make any sense. They're a native species, but we haven't seen any in years. I should have never let you inside. What is this? Some kind of stealth tick? Who are you working for? Look, I don't know what's going on. Let's get you to the director. Maybe she can figure this out. Come on, this way.
Who's there? Oh, thank God. Finally, someone came. The distress signal. You picked up the distress signal, right? Rafael Aguero, chief engineer here. Well, I was. What do you mean? Wait, how did you get in here? Hughes? Ethan Hughes? But he's dead. No. This doesn't make any sense. Unless the accident. Maybe this is a side effect of the accident. If the probe is still feeding power to the distortion, then... 3 months ago, I was calibrating an experiment in our high-energy research lab. There was an accident. An explosion. It caused a gas leak. Sparked a fire. I was trapped in the control room. There was nothing I could do. They're all dead. An artifact? You mean the metallic ob...
Disappear! We should... Wait! She's back. All right, we're on our way up. Hughes out. I was just filling in the director. Let's keep moving. Come on. If anything happens, let's go. This way. Come on. This way. Director?
Come in. Kaya Patel, Research Director. And this is our Chief Scientist, Maria Hughes. Ethan said you disappeared right in front of him. Twice now? 3 times?
Director, you can't be taking this seriously. Look, I don't know who you are or what you're doing here, but there has to be a rational explanation for all of this. An artifact?
You mean the source of the distortion? No, we don't. Enlighten us.
Really? That's all you're gonna say?
No. Fair enough. You have a prior connection with them then. Maybe that's why this is only affecting you. This facility and the research level 2 kilometers beneath us were built to study a gravitational distortion, this artifact and the field it creates. 3 months ago, our chief engineer was calibrating an experimental probe when something went wrong.
We still don't know what happened. There was a series of explosions, and somehow it's still running. That would make sense. That's why the field strength keeps increasing. We have a control unit for the probe. After the accident, I tried to use it to shut down the system, but the kill switch isn't responding. We could shut it off manually, but the entire research level is locked down. We can't even get down there. Not from up here. The explosion fried the network circuits.
Without physical access to the research level, there is little we can do. We have been working in makeshift labs for months.
Excuse me?
That is quite a claim. What makes you think that? Tell us about this other universe. Raphael. Raphael died in the accident.
Wait. Gas fire. The leak. Director, there was a hydrogen leak right after the accident. It was contained in a minute or 2.
But if it hadn't been, it could well have caused an explosion.
Another universe, though. That's a lot to swallow.
We're not sure.
Raphael was in the lab near the ventilation controls. He could have stopped it.
Maybe he did, or died trying. Presumed dead. As Maria said, the research level is still locked down, so we don't know exactly what happened.
If he survived, he could have ended the lockdown, but... You mean this other Raphael? No. How could we possibly do that?
Raphael was a colleague and a friend. If there was some way to help him, I would. But it does seem unlikely. Fine. And I want this lockdown to end. Perhaps we can help each other. We can't get to the lab, but you might be able to. In this other universe, Raphael survived. He made it back from the lab, so clearly his elevator works. Take it, and you might be able to shut down the experiment.
This is crazy.
But first, we have to do something about your shifting.
We can't shut down the probe, but we might be able to adjust some of the other parameters. It's risky. We don't know what we're dealing with, but... All right. It's worth a try.
Then it sounds like we have a plan.
Come with me. The control unit is in the fabrication lab next door. What have we gotten ourselves into?
It's you. What happened? You disappeared, and the ceiling caved in, and... I thought I'd finally lost it. What? How? Look, if you think things are bad up here, the research level is even worse. I barely made it out, and that was months ago. I don't understand any of this. If I hadn't seen you disappear with my own eyes, I wouldn't have believed it. Okay. You're my ticket out of here. We'll do this your way. We can get out through the pantry. Here's the key. I'll back you up, I guess.
What the? How did you? Security breach! Everybody out!
Run for it!
Out of my way! Move! Yes? What?
Pardon.
Look at this. It's going to take hours to clear this out. Assuming the rest of the building doesn't come down on top of us. I'm not sure. It might stop whatever's happening to you. It's a reasonable theory, I guess. They're a native species. We had an electric pulse field to keep them out. The fire took out the generators, damaged the foundation. They just keep coming. How should I know? You're the one who keeps winking in and out of existence. I just want to get out of here. Go do whatever you're going to do. I'll see if I can clear a path to the door. I was in the lab, working on the frequency calibration for the probe. I was walking out of the control room when it happened. I heard the tanks rupture. The alarm sound. I only had a second to react. I jumped back into the control room. The doors sealed. I was safe. From the gas, the fire, everything. But I was trapped. There was nothing I could do to stop it. If I had gone the other way, maybe I could have made it to the ventilation controls. Killed the system. Even if it killed me. I don't know. I don't want to think about it.
Oh, it's you. You realize you just poked into my locked office. So much for security protocols. Sure, not like it's stopping you anyway. And done. Is there anything else you need? The Cataxi in the other universe. Uh-huh. Wow. I've got an experimental thing one of the engineers put together. But... Nice words, but they don't change anything. That's what I'm hoping. Not happening. Sorry, I have to keep it on hand, just in case. You understand? Sorry, I don't know much personally. Like I said, we haven't seen any around here in years. The original survey team ran across them. You're welcome to read the old logs if you want. Here, I'll unlock the terminal for you. Bigger than you'd expect. We've got a particle accelerator, whole lab complex, the high energy research lab. Real state-of-the-art. Can't tell you what a tenth of it actually does. That's right. Has been since the accident. We can't connect to the control system to override it. The whole system's on a hair trigger. Cameras spot anyone not in the staff database. They fire off an alarm and all hell breaks loose.
What, did you get lost in the hallway? All right, this is the probe control unit. Most of these controls aren't responding. I'm going to very carefully adjust the settings I can. There's no way to tell what's about to happen. Pay attention and be ready for anything. I'll begin by adjusting the energy feed of the electron beam array. We're at 93 teravolts. Calibrating to 95, 97, 100. Nothing. Let's try the other way. 91, 89. What the? Okay. It looks safe to approach. But what in the world? It's a micro-distortion. Flux pattern matches the distortion in the lab. The setting is just exposing it somehow. Step into the distortion, please. It's possible. That's what I want to test. If that is what's happening, what does that mean? How many of these distortions are there? All around us, all this time, and we've never noticed. Look, whatever's going on here, it's not affecting me. You want to call this whole thing off? Fine. Otherwise, step into the field. Nothing. No, hold on. There's a slight pattern change. Some kind of resonance. Right, stay there. Let me turn the feedback up for a moment. Calibrating to 90, 91. What happened? Are you all right? So, the lower setting causes the distortions to manifest, and the higher causes you to shift. That seems promising. Keep it on the lower setting until you want to shift, and you should be able to avoid any more accidents. I'd give you my control unit, but it looks like you already have one from the other universe. Love to take a look at that when this is all over. No, we still don't understand what we're dealing with here. If we found something that works, let's not press our luck. You may want to practice shifting just to make sure this works reliably. Closer to the distortion, conditions may be less stable, if that's possible. Right? If you can get down to the research level, you need to make your way to the high-energy research lab. Disengage the power interlocks, then pull the emergency shutdown to stop the probe. That should finally put an end to all this. Oh, and before you go, the director wanted to speak with you. It really is just down the hall.
Well then, all set? If you need supplies, I've asked Dr. Barakova to take care of you. It's the least I can do after everything we've put you through. Before you go, there is one other thing we should discuss. If this experiment is the cause of your shifting, when you shut it down, the shifting will stop. What happens then? To you and to us. Exactly. And when you shut down the experiment, the probability function will collapse. You are the outside observer in the system. Whichever reality you are in, at that moment, is what will become real. For you and your universe, at least. The question is, which will you choose? If this were a choice between my life and Raphael's, I would ask you to save him. But as the director of the station, I am responsible for the lives of my staff. 30 people. People with families, careers, futures ahead of them. In this universe. It's not an easy decision, but I am grateful. Thank you. Now, it's time you are going. With the network offline, we can't shut down the security system on the research level, so you can expect some resistance. Be careful. Ethan, unlock the elevator lobby, please.
Ma'am? research level is still locked down.
I'm aware of that.
Alright. Done.
Good luck, dear. It's been a fascinating day.
Tatiana Barakova, station's doctor. This is not a public medical facility, but the director has ordered me to assist you nonetheless. I can spare a few med packs. Beyond that, I am not your therapist, your psychologist, or your cosmetologist. If there's anything else you need, ask. Let me see what I can find. Excuse me? Perhaps you'd care to try a dead-end medical post on some god-forsaken planet in the middle of nowhere, huh? 6-year surgical residency, and I spend my days treating paper cuts and hurt feelings for a bunch of mathematicians and physicists. And now I have to deal with some spacer who thinks they're jumping between universes? Spare me. What happened to you? Here, let me take a look. Let's get this over with. Right. Now, if there is nothing else, you can show yourself out.
Don't touch the equipment.
Hello? Pardon?
Security lockdown is active. Emergency override controls are available on designated security terminals. Security lockdown is active. Emergency override controls are available on designated security terminals.
Damage. All systems. A hostile target. 9. Catastrophic damage. Combat protocol. I am on fire. Repair not possible. Massive damage. Damage. All systems. Total system failure.
controls are available on designated security terminals.
Catastrophic damage.
You're back. I wasn't sure if you were alive or if you were going to come back for me. I mean, not that I'm not grateful, but why? Why not stay in that other universe? Yeah, I do. It's not much, but I scrounged up a few things you might still be able to use. You're welcome to anything else you find lying around, too. No one's going to miss it. And as for me, I owe you. You ever need an engineer, just say the word. Now, let's get off this damn rock.
Controls are available on designated security terminals.
Catastrophic damage. Damage. All systems. Total system failure. Catastrophic damage.
does this even mean?
Director, she's coming around.
Careful, dear. Slowly. How are you feeling? So you did?
When the lockdown ended, we found you both out cold on the floor of the lab. And then we found our Raphael.
I still can't believe it. To me, you've all been dead for months. And then, just see this. It's a lot. It's really a lot.
We don't know.
Raphael was the linchpin in all of this. He was the only one present at the time of the accident. His actions, the point of divergence. Perhaps whatever you did set up enough of a resonance to shift him through.
This is impossible. But so is everything else that's happened here.
What? No. There's nothing left for me there. This is a miracle.
In the end, I suppose it did.
We're never going to be able to publish this.
You're free to go. And to take the artifact. I think it is abundantly clear how little we still understand about it. For saving Raphael and our research facilities, I'd like to offer you compensation to the full extent of my authority.
And as for me, I've decided to take a leave of absence. After everything that's happened here, I need some time to think this over. But you ever need an engineer, just say the word. I owe you everything.
Thank you. This has been a truly remarkable experience.
The doctor wants to keep me a little longer, but I'll be on the next supply ship out of here. The next time you're in New Atlantis, look me up at the viewport. If you ever need an engineer or just want to talk, I'll be there. I am, but not right now. Let me get back to New Atlantis, get some rest. And then, yes, it's the least I can do, after all you've done for me.
Don't touch anything.